Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I can see the Opera House over there has some images imprinted on its sail, and it looks like it's a red flower. So today is the 11th of November, the 11th month. So we do have Remembrance Day. So the red poppy flower is that flower that is imprinted on the sails of the Opera House. So today at 11 o'clock, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we will remember those who have fallen in battle, those who expressed personal leadership so that we can have a better life, to have a freer life, and not to be overcome or to be bullied by dictators and by non-democratic processes. Anyway, today what I want to do is I want to do a book summary like I normally do, and it's an apt book summary for today, and it's entitled The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. So it's a book on leadership, but more importantly to talk about the fact that we all need to show personal leadership. He kicks off the book with an observation and a call to action that each and every one of us have agency to show personal leadership. Each and every one of us are called to express personal leadership in everything we do, because it's the combined leadership of every single person that impacts the world and makes the world a safer place and a better place. So we're all called to be leaders in our own rights, and he talks about the importance of not judging a book by its cover. But we all do it. We all judge people, we all judge situations with our biases and our preconceived ideas, because what we normally do, and it's just natural, is that each person tends to sum up other people based on their appearance, their attire, and any visual cues that they put out there. So there's a lesson here for each and every one of us that we need to make an effort to ensure that our appearance, our attire, and any visual clues that we put out there will and can be judged by those around us in a positive or a negative way. So once again, a small call to action there to make an effort in terms of appearance, attire, and visual cues. The author then goes on to say that when it comes to leadership, sometimes we need to get off track before we can develop the clarity to want to be on track and to lead and create a track in our lives and for people around us. Because we often lack the clarity of mind to absorb everything into context. I guess that takes time in life, it takes experience, it takes being let down, it takes having worked with great mentors or people who are really good at what they do, because you can learn from the best or you can learn from others, because each and every person is either an example or a warning, an example of how to do it or a warning in terms of how not to do things in life. But the key lesson from this author, from this book, is that we need to treat everybody equally and fairly, because everybody brings something to the table through their personal leadership. We also need to be warned to be careful that some people have an inflated ego and treat others with disdain and poorly. Now we need to be careful to not be that person, to be the prick who treats others poorly, and to do whatever we can to look for warning signs in organisations, in groups, in social circles, to try and avoid, where possible, people of that sort of character. But also, if they come across your path and do treat you poorly, to stand up for yourself and not to allow them to treat others in the same way. The author uses an example of a person, a lady, a leader in her own right, called Maya Angelou. And she says a very, very valuable point. She makes a very valuable point where she says that people will forget what you have said and what you have done. Most people will forget what you've said and what you have done, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So each and every one of us are invited to ponder that point and to think and to recall that the way you make people feel will stay with them forever. So we have a choice. You know, we can invest in people and help make them feel good, or we can be part of that brigade of nasty people who go out of their way just to make other people feel worse and feel terrible about themselves, which will stay with them forever to a certain extent, and they'll remember you for that in a negative way. The author then goes on to make an observation that in our lives, the CEO will get buried next to the street sweeper. So at the end of the day, how you treat people counts more than the car you drive, the postcode you live in, and the clothes that you wear, or the job that you have. So a lot of people make the mistake and they wait in their lives to be leaders. They think that a day will come where somebody will tap them on the shoulder and say, oh, we want you to be the CEO. And from that point onwards, they're called to lead. It's the other way around. You need to be a leader first before you get tapped on the shoulder, or before you become a leader of people. Now you need to lead yourself first before you can lead others. You need to lead your family before you can lead a team. You need to lead a team before you can lead a department, or a division, or a group, or a community, or in fact a nation, or the world. So you need to be a leader first before you become a recognised leader of many. So we all need to be responsible and accountable. When I was a young executive working for IBM, they would always say that you, in your position, are the most important leader in the world for that particular role, because you're the only person doing that job. So each and every person is called on every single day to show leadership in their job, because they're the only person there. They're the only person looking after that post, so to speak. So you need to make the necessary decisions to ensure that what you're doing is going to add value, is going to be safe for you and others around you, and is going to, contribute to the overall picture. So, and to do that, the author says here that we need to do things in a positive, to positively impact the outcome, instead of being a spanner in the works. or somebody who's constantly causing problems and challenges. It's important to take a view of yourself as somebody who is contributing, who's greasing the skids, so to speak, and making things move along and contributing, rather than being somebody who's tripping everybody up and bringing everything to a screaming halt. And to encourage your family, to encourage all of those around you to express their personal leadership. Because when I was working years ago, I remember somebody saying, and a very senior person within the organisation, he says, we need to understand one thing and one thing above everything else, that we all report to each other. You don't report to me, we report to each other. We're responsible, we're accountable to each other within the organisation, and we must never ever forget that. So the author then goes on to say something else which is important, and I'll need to get on this train here because this one here is going to the airport with the mascot. So let me just hop on the train and I'll continue my vlog. So the author makes another valuable and valid point, saying the importance or the beauty of being human is that we have the ability to choose how we respond, and we don't have to instinctively react to our environment or to stimuli just like animals do. So we have an ability to think, we have ability to pause, we have ability to choose how we're going to respond, and we don't necessarily have to instinctively react to things. And it's all about choosing, as the author said, making that free choice to do what you do, and of course that free choice will
doors closing.
I guess put you
clear.
in a position where you'll be judged by others. The author then goes on to talk about the importance of understanding that making consistent small steps will get you further down the path and will achieve a lot more in your life than other things. It takes 66 days to create and build a new habit, and we all basically need to commit to mastering our lives, mastering our skills, and becoming better versions of who we are. So the last point that the author makes in this book is the importance of getting up early, being an early riser, exercising, learning, praying, meditating, and reading, and adding to your fuel, adding to your skill set, adding to your inventory of life hacks and work hazards, and most importantly, living, learning, and passing it on, knowing that we are all partners in each other's growth and development. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode. I absolutely love getting up early in the morning and making it a mission to share a book summary with my friends and family. The book summary that we went through today is entitled The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma, where he suggests to each and every one of us that we can all be leaders. We don't need to have a title of CEO. We don't need to have a title of manager. We don't have to have a title of parent, mother, father to be those roles, or to express those roles. Many years ago I worked for a great leader named Frank Coogan's, who said that I'm delegating my responsibility and my accountability to each and every person in my team, and I will back you. I just want you to be a clone of me, and to know that every decision you make, everything you come across, every problem you encounter, to ask yourself, what would Frank do? And to basically express the culture of our team, and for us all to be leaders. So thank you very much, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.